What's going on, everybody? Brad and Greta Zude with Parenting with the Zudes podcast. And on today's episode, we're actually going to tell you the truth. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to tell you exactly what you need to do before bedtime and how that relates and affects baby sleep so you can actually get a full night's sleep, feel rested, do what's best for you, do what's best for baby, and all that kind of good stuff. We're going to tell you those secrets right here on the podcast. And if this is your first time joining us, again, we're Brad and Greta Zude with Parenting with the Zudes, #1 best-selling parenting authors, baby sleep authors. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can actually go and watch this video on our YouTube channel. Just type in the Zudes, and you get to see in-studio guest Miss Aubrey, crushing it, sleeping, doing her thing.
She's hanging in there. She's trying to stay awake, but she's fading fast.
She's had a hard couple hours. She went on date night.
Yeah. Can you really call it date night if you take a kid with you? But I mean, sans 7 kids, it's yeah. And you know, it's funny because we've always preached. So inside of our mastermind group, where we work with thousands of families, we're like, get a sitter in the first couple weeks of your baby and go alone on date night. Like, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. And for us, we didn't do that tonight, but solely because only having one baby feels like 0 children. Yeah, it was a kind of a funny feeling. I felt like we're a family of 3 again. We had our first baby, and we're just kind of hanging out and riding around town, running errands, and I don't know. It was really fun.
And it wasn't because we didn't want to not leave the baby or some like attachment.
No, I'm completely comfortable leaving her, and she can take a bottle. The kids have been enjoying feeding her a bottle, so we've practiced with that, and a couple times a week. So that wasn't the issue at all. It was more of, are we ready to give our teen babysitter the responsibility of 8 children?
The kids, if Aubrey's going to suffer from anything, it's going to be overloved. Yeah. And when you have, a real baby, think about it. Like when you were a 3-year-old girl, that loved dolls, to have a real baby to play with.
Heaven.
Yeah. So it was for her protection.
Yeah. And we haven't been, we have not been on date night because of all the craziness.
We went to a real restaurant.
We did.
With real waiters.
Down. Yeah, it was crazy. So, our kids are a little bit out of the habit of, having, the mic is picking up all these fun baby noises.
I'm sure.
That's fun. They're a little bit out of the habit of, listening to someone else's authority. Yeah. I think transitioning with 7 kids first is an okay thing. But yeah, we did some fun things on date night tonight. That's why I look a little bit nicer than last time.
Wait, is that makeup?
I actually have makeup on. My hair was did. It's not in a messy bun today, so that's good. That's an improvement.
Well, I don't think you have any spit up on your outfit.
No.
You're almost.
Mm-hmm. Pretty classy.
It's keeping it classy.
Yeah. I do have kombucha spilled on me, but
we did spill our kombucha.
Yeah, we had a fun time though. We went and laid on a purple mattress. That was fun.
See, I sleep on the purple pillow,
which I hate,
and it's like the most amazing thing ever.
No, it's way too flat. It's super, super flat. I can't stand the pillow, but
I like a thinner pillow.
You do. But I've always wanted to try out the bed. And so Brad was so fun.
And tell everyone what you thought of the bed. They're dying to know.
I really liked the bed. I think it would be, a super nice bed. Next time we need one, maybe we'll get a purple.
And we just bought a new mattress,
probably it was 3 years ago now.
Yeah, it was just before purple was really...
Yeah.
Really doing their thing.
But now they have the adjustable thing where you could raise the head or raise the feet. That's
pretty nifty.
That's nifty.
Nothing $6,000 can't fix.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good price tag.
They're proud of them.
Yep.
So the kids are in bed. We just did bedtime with our other 7. Mm-hmm. Which should be a whole video inside of itself, how we do bedtime with 7 kids. Jordan Page, she just did the Fun, Cheaper, Free Mom. She just did they just had twins, I think.
Yeah.
That put them up to 8, and they just did now everything's like blah, 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 with 8 kids. And they just did bedtime routine with 8 kids, and I don't know. I guess people find that interesting. Maybe we should make a video like that.
I don't know. I think a lot of people have trouble with bedtime routine with 2 kids. And I mean, we have our issues for sure. I mean, it doesn't always go super smoothly, but I don't know.
We don't have the big battles.
It's not that big of a deal. Like, it would take us, I don't know, a bedtime routine, like putting all the kids to bed. We could say in
20 minutes?
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, hey, get everything done, get your rooms clean, beds, or...
Yeah, that's from taking them upstairs, the teeth brushed, and
in bed.
All that kind of stuff. And they don't, every now and again, they'll try to pull a punch, but not there.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah. So, today though, we're going to talk about baby bedtime routine and what that should look like for your newborn or your infant. And there's a lot of information out there of what all the things that you need to do with your newborn or infant to get that really good, nice nighttime sleep. Now, at 3 weeks old, I'm not expecting a full night's sleep. So that's not the goal here. But, you do want to get as long of a stretch as possible.
Because it's all about the half an hour before bedtime, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes the magic happen.
Yeah, actually not. No. So, boy, where do I even start? Do I go into the daytime? No.
Good nights.
Start with good days. Yes. If you've read our book, you know this. And
that's actually what's behind us here. Everyone thinks like this is like a green screen or something cool. But this is our number 1 best-selling baby sleep book. You can check it out on Amazon. My Baby Can Sleep. Self-titled.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about actually first what we do at night.
Oh.
And it's actually fairly simple. Most people think that you have to have, the bath every night, and that kind of calms them down. And then you've got to have the lotion and the rocking and the feeding and the and then you spend this much time. I don't even know.
The 5 prayers,
winding them down.
4 hugs, 3 songs, 2 books.
Yeah. So really, this is actually what my bedtime routine with Aubrey looks like. She will.
And again, Aubrey is.
She's only 3 weeks old.
3 weeks old.
She's 3 weeks old. Now, okay, so we have our routine during the day. We start around 6:37, somewhere in there. So let's say we start about 7 o'clock. So we do feedings every 3 hours at this point. So 7, 10, 1, 4, and then 7 is her last feeding. She wakes up from a nap at about 7, and she's ready to eat, and she spends the next hour and 15 minutes awake. And, we enjoy her as a family. Sometimes that includes bath time if, if she needs a bath and if the 2-year-old needs a bath. So we'll go up and I'll kind of get him in and out of the bathtub. And that's fine, but it's not necessary. Mm-hmm. And so does she enjoy it? Sure. But it's not necessary.
Yeah, this whole calming, essential oily, incensey,
crunchy vibe.
Yeah, it's just it's fine, but it's not like the thing that
And there's nothing
does it.
There's nothing wrong with if you enjoy those things. If you enjoy doing those things with your baby, sure, do them. And if it's good for their skin, nightly baths are great for their skin if you can, if you do it properly. And by that, I mean we've had skin issues in our family. We have had skin issues. So we're all about the nightly bath and patting dry and good, thick lotion. We use a specific lotion.
Yeah, that's stuff you put on them. It looks like toothpaste.
Almost.
Like SPF 75.
Yeah. So that's super great. If your baby has skin issues, that's a good practice to be into. They could probably hear you with these new microphones. like
guzzle that down.
ASMR. Like, hear me eat and chew.
Oh, gross.
Not ASMR, but mukbang. Yeah, mukbang.
Oh,
so weird.
Do not search for mukbang. If you've never heard of it, don't.
It's just the videos where you watch people eat.
Gross.
And some of them, the ASMR is like audio sensory something where they turn the microphone and like you hear them. Who wants amplified chewing sound? Like I just can't think of much worse.
It's disgusting.
Than an amplified.
I can't stand listening to you chew.
I just. Like,
why would I turn on a video?
Like crunchy cereal with milk. It's just, it's real bad.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. So skin issues, it's fine for that. No big deal. But it's not necessary for the relaxing to put them to bed.
Correct.
Books. Books are a great thing. We love books in our house. We love reading stories before bedtime. But is it necessary? No, it's not. You can read your books at other times of the day and still have the same effect. Still educate your children, right? It doesn't have to be this calming thing before bedtime. So from 7 to 8:15, we do a feeding. And that time might include bath. It might just be playtime. It might just be enjoying each other as family. And then at 8:15, we change diaper. And I lay her down in bed. I get her dressed and ready, and I lay her down. And it's as simple as that. Like, that's our bedtime routine. Like, and it doesn't have to be one way or another. There's no like specific calming practices that I use to get her ready for bed. And when I do put her to bed, she is fairly fully wide awake, as much as a newborn can be, right? Sometimes they're super sleepy and they're hard to wake up. But, I don't intentionally wake her up, but I don't intentionally put her down while she's sleeping either. So there really is no specific bedtime routine that you have to have. And I put her down. And is there crying? Sometimes yes. Sometimes no. Sometimes she goes right to sleep because she's super tired. And sometimes she puts up a little bit of a fight, and she's a little bit of a pillow pincher. So
and part of the goal of that is, at least at this age, again, the point is not to make your baby sleep through the night, all that kind of stuff, because at 3.5 weeks old, they shouldn't do that. However, the goal is to avoid bad habits. The goal is to not develop sleep crutches, things that baby's dependent on to go to sleep with, to get her into the habit of being rocked to sleep, or, all that kind of stuff. That's the primary goal of if you could do something wrong, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That would be what we would teach to stay away from.
Right. And some people can't handle it with their newborns, and that's fine. If you can't handle putting your newborn down without trying to pacify them, if you can't handle the crying, hey, that's okay. When you're ready, you'll know you're ready. And there usually comes this point where okay, I'm done. I can't do this any longer. And at some point, those sleep crutches will take over. They won't work anymore. And so you'll have to do more, or you'll have to find something else that works. Right.
And that's kind of a whole nother topic. But, the 4-month sleep regression, right? It's not a sleep regression if they never did it in the first place, right?
Or maybe they kind of slept, but then it can get worse at that age.
Right.
But
sleeping, we define it as sleeping from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything. Mm-hmm. So, we talk with hundreds of moms every single week. I'm on the phone with moms almost every day. And it's just does baby have the skill to do it or not? At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And whenever moms talk about regression, I can't have Major League Baseball regression because I've never been to the major leagues, right? I never played baseball, so therefore I cannot regress from it. So if your baby's never slept through the night by their own merit, then they just didn't regress from it. It's just time to teach them that skill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do just want to mention real quick, we do feed again, so at night.
Yeah.
I have another scheduled feeding.
This is just to develop good, healthy habits.
Right.
and just generally being headed in a positive direction.
Yes. And as you can see, I like the pacifier. We use the pacifier actually a lot. This little girl, she came out and within minutes she was sucking her fingers. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
She was sucking her fingers immediately. And so she has, and it's gotten less and less as she's gotten a little bit older, but she has an intense desire to suck. And so in between when she's having a wake time, sometimes it just calms her to suck. So usually anywhere from birth to up to 3 months, they have this need for non-nutritive sucking. So we do like the pacifier. However, I don't use it to put her to sleep.
Then it becomes a sleep crutch. So the same item.
During nap time.
Yep.
Now, when we're out and about and there's we have to have nap time at church or something like that, you know what? I'm going to pull out the pacifier and I'm going to use it to put her to sleep if I need to. But if it's just a normal at-home crib nap, there's no reason to use that. So she needs to learn how to fall asleep all on her own. And she does. She's amazing, even at 3 weeks old. And a lot of people will tell you that, newborns do not have this ability and they just can't. However, in our experience with, I don't even know how many hundreds of newborns, our own 8, and then hundreds of other newborns we have counseled through, parents we have counseled with their newborns through this, they can't put themselves to sleep. And so many parents are really, really thankful for starting from the very beginning, because it does save you a lot of...
You don't have to undo half of the terrible stuff that you've built.
Yeah, and especially, a lot of these moms now have started with they found us when their babies were 6, 9, 2 months old, and now they're on their second and third babies with us, and they're so thankful because they have so much more time.
No, this is so much easier.
It's so much easier, but then they have time for their other kids too.
Yep.
And babies sleep a lot during the day, and if you can have your hands free for 2 out of every 3 hours, if you want, then that's a great time to spend with your preschooler and your toddler. So
yeah, absolutely. And we just did another podcast and another video on how to handle toddlers when you have a new baby. Mm-hmm. So definitely check that out.
Yeah.
There'll be links and everything around.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's all I got. I mean, really, bedtime routine is whatever you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be anything in particular. And what I would say is I wouldn't necessarily, especially for your older infants, have it a certain way every single time, because then that becomes so if you are in the habit of doing a bath, that's okay. But if you were ever to get out of that routine, would your baby be okay with that? If you were out some night and you didn't have the time to come, you got home at 9 o'clock from your friend's house and you didn't have time for the bath, you didn't have time for the stories, you didn't have time for this, that, or the other thing, is your baby going to be okay if you just lay them down? So, we like to give our babies a variety of experiences and not necessarily have to have something one way or the other, so they don't freak out when it's different.
So it doesn't become a sleep crutch, right? So it doesn't become something that is dependent upon for sleep.
Right.
And that's the goal to avoid.
I feel like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because we're all about routines, right? But flexibility is important too. So, yeah, but I think there are elements of consistency.
A general routine. It's not like, at this point, it's not like super specific routine. You can have a general routine, like, I don't know, you and I go to bed between 10 and 10:30 every night. Because
kids thrive on routines. They really do. They need routine. They need consistency. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have to be specific.
No.
Like to the T. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, now I'm rambling.
If you're on the podcast, it would mean the world to us to leave us a 5-star review and let everyone know that you're enjoying the podcast. If you're on YouTube, drop a like, drop a subscribe. It really helps support the channel with what we have going on so that you don't miss another video as well. And we'll see you all on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.